Hi everyone. Today we are going to study a very important protocol known as SMTP. Its full form is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. This is a protocol which is used by email services used in the internet. So within the internet, email is delivered by having the source machine establish a TCP connection to port number 25 of the destination machine. When the source machine establishes a connection with the destination machine using port number 25 of the TCP connection, then email is delivered. Listening to this particular port, that means the port number 25, is an email daemon that uses simple mail transfer protocol. Now, as I said that in order to establish a connection between the source and destination, it needs to listen to port number 25 of the destination. So who listens to this port number 25? It is an email daemon. The email daemon listens to this port number 25 by using which specific protocol? By using the protocol SMTP, which is known as the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, which we are studying about in today's video. So this daemon accepts incoming connections. Whatever incoming connection request it gets, this particular daemon accepts them and then copies messages from them into the appropriate mailboxes. Whatever messages come from the source machine, this daemon, after accepting the connection request from those specific source machines, copies their messages to the appropriate mailboxes for which those messages are meant or intended. Now, if a message cannot be delivered due to any reason, if a message cannot be delivered, an error report containing the first part of the undeliverable message is returned to the sender. This you must have also witnessed many times when an email address is unreachable, or when you type, when there is a typographical error while typing the email address. In any such scenarios, when the email is undeliverable to the intended recipient, then you get a message failure daemon kind of a message. So this is what it is, that whenever email is undeliverable to the intended recipient, that means whenever a message cannot be delivered to an intended recipient, an error message is received by the sender, which contains the report containing the first part of the undeliverable message, so that the sender knows that his message could not be delivered and he can retry in case he wants to. SMTP is a simple ASCII protocol. Alright, so ASCII, as we all know, stands for American Standard Code for Information Exchange. So a protocol standard set by American Standard Code for International Information Interchange, or ASCII. SMTP belongs to this ASCII community to the community of the ASCII protocols. So we can say that SMTP is a ASCII protocol. After establishing the TCP connection to port number 25, as we know that it is mandatory to establish a TCP connection with the port number 25 between the sender and the receiver, the mails can be delivered. So once the TCP connection to port number 25 has been established, the sending machine operating as a client. Now the sending machine operates as a client here. So the sending machine operating as a client waits for the receiving machine operating at the server to talk first. So whenever a connection has been established between the sender and receiver using the TCP connection to port number 25, the sending machine operates as a client and the receiving machine operates at the server side. So the sending machine basically waits for a response from the receiving machine. That means it waits for a response from the receiving machine. That means it basically waits for the receiving machine to talk first. It waits for the receiving machine to respond to the connection. The server starts by sending a line of text giving its identity and telling whether it is prepared to receive email. So after the connection is established, as we know that the server is expected, that is the machine, receiving machine at the server is expected to respond. So basically it responds by sending a line of text. And what does that line of text consist of? It consists of the identity of the sending machine at the server side, and then it tells the receiver whether the sending machine at the server side is prepared to receive email or not. If it is not prepared to receive the emails, then the client releases the connection, because when the server itself has said that I'm not prepared to receive any email right now from you, so what will the client do with the connection? So what does the client do? It releases the connection and then it tries again later. If the server is willing to accept the email, but if in case the response that the client machine gets from the server side, in the response, if the server is willing to accept the email, obviously then the client announces who the email is coming from and who it is going to, right? So client, who the email is coming from is from the from field, and to who the email is going to is to the to field. So with the help of the from and to field, basically the client announces that whom the email is coming from and who it is going to, when in response of the server, when from the server's response it gets to know that the server is ready to accept the email messages. If such a recipient exists at the destination, now since the client has told that who that message is intended for and from who that message is coming, so if such a recipient exists at the destination, the server gives the client the go ahead to send the message. So first of all, such recipient must exist. So if such a recipient exists to who the client wishes to send the message, then the server will give it a go ahead. It will say that go ahead and send the message. Then the client sends the message and server acknowledges it. So after the client gets a go ahead from the server, then the client sends the message and the server acknowledges that message. Acknowledgement basically consists of telling the sender or the client whether the message has been received or not. We have already studied there are various ways to acknowledge it. Now, no checksum are needed because TCP provides a reliable byte stream. Now, as you know that the client connects to the server using port number 25 TCP connection, right? So that means TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, is a reliable connection oriented service. We all know that. Since it is a reliable byte stream, so no checksums are required for any kind of error correction or error detection in this case. So when all the email has been exchanged in both directions, the connection is released. So just like in any connection oriented service, when all the data transfer has been done, so connection is then released. So similarly here also, while using the connection oriented TCP connection, when all the email has been exchanged in both the directions, what then happens? The connection is then released because all your messages have been transferred either in one way or in both ways, and then the connection is no longer required. So we do not wish to waste the bandwidth, and hence the connection is released.